Health Beat with Dr. Benita Zahn.
And welcome. As we try to avoid becoming ill from coronavirus or just stay healthy in general, how to stay healthy is taking center stage. And that means looking at our lifestyle, diet, and exercise. An area getting increased attention is our gut microbiome. In many ways, it's like the last frontier of our health. It's a vast community comprised of trillions of bacteria and fungi living in the GI tract. It can affect your metabolism, your body weight, immune system, appetite, mood. So we welcome Bridgette Shea, a wellness educator and author of the new book, which I just happen to have in my hand, Cultivating Your Gut Microbiome. Good to see you, Bridgette.
Good to see you too. Thanks for having me.
So we don't really get what's in our gut, do we?
No, actually, we don't really get what's in and on our whole bodies. We're actually about 50% human because the other half of us is, as you described, these little microbes.
And there is a movement there in some circles to consider the microbiome, the gut microbiome, another organ.
Yes, there is. Many researchers actually have called it its own organ because it affects so much of the body, and it affects also how we feel and how we think.
How does it do that?
Well, there's a communication system that's called the gut-brain axis that allows the microbes in the gut to communicate with the brain and vice versa. And it does this through a variety of mechanisms, but one is through the vagus nerve. And so if the vagus nerve is activated and healthy and people are breathing well to help activate the vagus nerve, then it helps to send the signal between the gut and the brain that we are okay, and it can actually decrease anxiety and other negative feelings.
You know, Bridgette, you and I have both heard from people who say, you know, but look at the garbage that person eats, and they live to, 95 and sort of never have a bad day of health. Do they just have an incredible gut microbiome that manages this? Because to have a healthy gut microbiome, there are certain things we should be eating and not eating.
Absolutely. So the recommendation is to eat 30 or more plant-based foods a week in order to have what is the current definition of a healthy microbiome, which is a diverse gut microbiome. And so these people that you say may be not eating really well and still be living a long time, well, we need to look at quality of life, and we also need to look at other factors. Genetics do have a role to play, but so does stress tolerance and how well we sleep and if we're exercising or not.
Mm-hmm. And there are things that we should be eating along with the 30 plant-based foods. We're looking, at fiber. We're looking at fiber. We're looking at eating seasonally, things of that nature.
Absolutely. So our bodies are an aspect of nature, and they are intimately connected with the cycles of nature. Our bodies have their own cycles, and our gut microbiome has its own cycles as well. And as we go through the year, the microbiome in the gut shifts to accommodate the expected foods that are harvested at that time of year.
It's also suggested we eat fermented food, sauerkraut. Why is that good for our gut?
Because sauerkraut and other fermented foods contain the actual little microbes that researchers have identified to be beneficial in the body. So when we are taking in sauerkraut, for example, we're taking in microbes that do good things for our body, like decrease inflammation and help us absorb and assimilate nutrients better.
And we shouldn't be snacking. That sort of flies in the face of the eat 6 small meals a day.
Right. So we don't want to overwhelm the microbiome. It's on, like I said, a particular schedule. And eating more toward the beginning of the day is a better thing to do for our gut microbes because they kind of go to sleep at night as it gets close to dark. And then snack. Oh, go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
So snacking from an Eastern medicine perspective and from a Western medicine perspective, it increases the inflammation along the GI tract, and that serves to increase absorption and assimilation. But we want to give the body time every time we eat to let that inflammation go back down. When we snack, it's like we're constantly increasing that inflammation and sending the body into that cycle where it needs to be busy, busy, busy in the gut. And it takes away from what the gut could be doing with the last meal that we had.
The book is Cultivating Your Microbiome, and you're going to be speaking at Northshire Books on the 5th of October. And people can watch you via the internet at that point. So I'm going to put up the link on our website. If you want to take a look and a listen, I'll be involved in that conversation. Bridgette Shea, thanks so very much. Bottom line, eat well. It's not all that hard, right?
No.
And get active. Thank you. And thank you, too, for joining us. And again, you can hear more from Bridgette on October 5th. We'll put the link on our website right here at WNYT.com. Until next time, stay well.